All right, so here we are today. My name's Chris. This is my colleague Brian.
Hello.
Hello, Brian. We're going to be discussing various topics and educating the public on these different topics. The first topic we have is dinosaurs. So we're going to start out with dinosaurs. And for me, the first thing that comes to mind when I think of dinosaurs is volcanoes. So, like they had volcanoes to deal with, they were large creatures, and when a volcano erupted, they had to run and hide, and all these different things that they had to deal with just really hits home to me. What do you think, Brian?
Well, I was exactly spot on with the volcano comment because most of the paintings and drawings that I've seen of dinosaurs throughout my life, there'll be a volcano in the background. And
Absolutely.
it just brings to mind that it must have been hard. Volcanoes just everywhere, and the different heat. It was just hotter. It was like tropical looking plants.
Oh
everywhere.
yeah, tropical. The plants were like all wet and like tropical. Yeah. So continue.
Yeah. So the dinosaurs are gonna be kind of like they'll maybe like step away from certain like lava trails
For
and
sure,
maybe
yeah.
like if a river's run through, they might need to cool down and it's just natural that a dinosaur might find its way to a water source and in that kind of environment is what one of my first thoughts.
Now, do you think that they're gonna hang out near the plants? Like,
Well,
I don't know. Like, I think that they'd want to be near the plants. I mean, what do you think?
Well, exactly what I was gonna bring that up too because like near the water there's gonna be plants and with various trees and ferns like you'll see in the paintings, they're gonna want to hide. And those provide good shelter and food source maybe for the plant eating dinos.
Yeah, there were some plant eaters, so they're gonna want to be by the plants. That's just a given. So, yeah, you take the plant eaters, you put them by the plants. They're gonna have a good day. They're gonna be eating the plants. But then you got to think about T Rex, and T Rex was a large animal looking to eat these plant eaters, and I just can't even imagine personally what it would have been like for T Rex.
Well, something that people should really consider with T Rex is not only is he big, but he had certain ways of maneuvering through his environment.
He did.
Like people don't know that he would jump.
Yeah, yeah.
And like he would jump around like if he needed to get over like some obstacle
Like a log,
plant life fallen like you said like a log
a big log.
rock
Yeah.
big rock
Yeah, yeah.
but no he could jump like it was serious and I mean so you're using your body to catch prey as a T-Rex and what you're gonna find that it's gonna sustain you to use those kind of those maneuvers.
Well, T Rex did jump, and that is a known fact. He jumped over logs and rocks, that's for sure, especially trying to evade danger or to attack prey. But the thing people don't understand about T Rex, one misconception here, is he when he was chasing like a smaller, quicker animal, if he needed to dive after the animal, he would dive or slide, he would dive and slide across the ground and catch that prey. And, that it just really, really makes me have a lot of respect for the T Rex, even though I feel pretty sorry for the small dinosaur.
Yeah, the prey animals they also developed when T-Rex would dive and he would jump. The prey animals would they developed sliding as well. And,
Did they?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I only heard it was T Rex that slid. Okay.
And duck. They were known to duck. And
Well, I knew they ducked. I don't know. From what I heard, I thought only T-Rex slid.
Well, they would duck and they would hide.
Right, that's absolutely true. But I don't know. Not to go against you, Brian, but as far as the sliding thing goes, I'm pretty sure it might have been only T-Rex that knew how to slide. But I don't know. We'll figure that out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's lots of ways we can go with this. With tails, like another thing is T-Rex had a tail, Stegosaurus had a tail, Triceratops had a tail.
No kidding. Yeah.
With tails, that would affect their maneuverability as well. Like,
Absolutely.
like swaying behind them, that big tail. I think we were talking about it yesterday how like.
I mean, we're talking tails right now, so it's. I mean, it's obvious it's a big deal.
Yeah, well, big tail like that, like well, it's balance. I think balance. I think some of them might use it for defense.
Oh yeah, like I think swiping your tail and hitting a dinosaur and making them fly really far away, like, and then go eat them. I mean, tails are so crucial.
Yeah. Well, the dinos that didn't have tails, they might. Well, and we talked about this earlier too when we were prepping for today's topic. Is these dinos? People don't know it, but a lot of times they'd fall. They'd actually fall onto the dirt. And I
talked to a professor last week. Actually, ironically enough, he was telling me a Brachiosaurus fell in a river. That's what you're talking about? How they fell in rivers?
Well, there's lots of mud.
Yeah, and they
like,
slip and
fucking like.
Yeah, it hurts. For them to fall because they're big, larger yard.
Well, imagine they have those like reptilian, like kind of. I think they had like flat feet, like the bottoms were like flat and shit. Like
an
mud.
Elephant foot.
Yeah, like an elephant foot. Like you come across mud, you might slide. Like, and that's an unintentional slide. And
yeah, or I'd maybe even call it a slip, but I don't know. Yeah, so the professor colleague of mine that I was talking to a couple weeks ago, he said that there was a dinosaur that fell in the river and couldn't get back up, and Allosaurus, I think it was either Allosaurus or T-Rex came and bit his head off. So that sucked for that dinosaur. So that's another thing that happened back then.
Yeah, well, you can imagine all sorts of events would occur. You got all sorts of biodiversity and life trying to find its way essentially into the habitat that they found themselves in. And you're gonna see a T-Rex take advantage of a fallen dino.
And was life evolving at that time?
They talk about that. I think maybe it was like the beginning. Like I think dinos like kind of they were one of the first.
Yeah.
Like
reptiles. Yeah.
Exactly, but I hear that like maybe there was bugs and shit there.
I was just gonna say the weird thing is the bugs, because life's evolving. You got the reptiles, the dinos, they're evolving, they're doing great, but then you have to remember the bugs, and the weird thing about the bugs is they were pretty similar to the bugs that we experience today, except for maybe a little bit bigger or something. I don't know.
Well, yeah, like the paintings that we've seen, like we talk about the volcanoes. Sometimes you'll see a big dragonfly, or like a big mosquito, and this brings to mind point of reference here.
I've even seen a big caterpillar. But go ahead. Point of reference.
Yeah. Point of reference here. Jurassic Park.
Oh, the movie.
Yep. Big deal with that mosquito.
Yeah.
The trapped in the sap.
Yeah.
In the sap.
Yeah, and when it gets trapped in that sap, I guess apparently it still has the DNA from dinosaurs inside it. So the scientists came in there and extracted that DNA and made a dinosaur. And that movie really speaks wonders to dinosaurs and their life and how big they were and how scary and their teeth and horns and all that stuff were. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, well, I was gonna mention how like they really showed the public what a dinosaur could be. Like the public, they haven't seen dinosaurs in real life, so like maybe a movie is a good reference for them to like when they're thinking about dinosaurs, they can think back to like Jurassic Park, King Kong. I saw some T Rexes in the King Kong movie.
yeah, and the movie we're talking about, Jurassic Park. The lead man in that, human.
The actor.
The actor, yeah. He's wearing a cowboy hat of sorts, or like a safari adventure hat. And I really, really related to him because I like that kind of hat. And
He really did look the part. He looked like a scientist or
like an adventurer.
like a archaeologist or something.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, an archaeologist.
Yeah.
But I like that hat. I saw him in that movie, and I just thought the hat was perfect. And then when I saw T-Rex in the same scene with him with the hat, that's when I fell in love with the movie.
Well, it's like almost like there he is. He's an adventurous man, and there he is face to face with that monster.
Yeah, well, he tells him in the movie, don't move, because T-Rex hunted by sight or whatever. And
Isn't it night vision?
it's like night vision or daytime vision. I'm not sure, but you're just not supposed to move or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. That's what they were getting at with that T-Rex like vision stuff. But the T-Rex still would. It was a threat. Like even when you didn't move, you were like, that was tough.
Yeah, and then they fell off that cliff, and T-Rex almost got him. It was pretty tough. But anyway, yeah, it's a good reference to dinosaurs for anybody wanting to learn more out there about dinosaurs. Check out Jurassic Park. Check out our channel. You know, it's all about dinosaurs right now, and I just want to say that the volcanoes.
The volcanoes were looming in the background like it would signify the end of the dinosaurs, and that's what we need to talk about is the end of the dinosaurs here.
No, why were there so many volcanoes back then? I mean, I'm thinking about that, and I'm like, okay, so volcano over here, volcano over there, volcano, over there. So it's like, how do they even get away from volcanoes? There's a volcano in every painting that I've ever seen.
Yeah, there's like, and it's usually like erupting, or there's like magma and
It's
shit.
dangerous.
Yeah, there's like magma, like and dinosaurs are just kind of like, oh, that's everyday life. They're sitting there, but we're fucking eating like grass and shit, like with a volcano in the background.
Tons of fucking grass that they're eating with that in the background.
Incredible. No, I agree. Incredible. Like just the vision of multiple dinosaur species, each occupying their own way of life in the painting, and then there's always a volcano there, like signifying that they were not going to make it. The volcanoes got them.
Yeah, you could just tell from the painting that they weren't going to make it. But it's incredible how much grass the plant eaters ate. It's incredible how many dinosaurs the meat eaters ate. And then there were flying dinosaurs.
Well, I tend to agree with you there. One thing we haven't mentioned is eggs. They built nests like birds, and they would lay eggs and shit, like eggs that we eat. I ate eggs this morning. It was, little well, about the size of a nickel. Um,
Huh.
these eggs that they had were, God, probably the size of a football.
Well, I've seen dinosaur eggs the size of a car, so they were huge. And
Yeah, those must have been, what was that, like, underwater dinosaur in the latest Jurassic Park? Like,
oh, like a shark alligator type of guy.
yeah.
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 He was a strong dinosaur and mean to other dinosaurs.
Do they have fossils of him?
I know that they do. Same colleague I talked to 2 weeks ago has the fossil at his house in his living room. So
Yeah, I was going to ask because, like, underwater fossils you'd think would be a whole different ballgame for the scientists and
well, they find them on the beach.
the.
They wash up. So
Oh, okay, all right, yeah. Well, I trust you there. I mean, that makes sense. Like, I've seen all sorts of things, like, like rocks and shit. Like, like.
I own a couple of those. I know quite a bit about it, but I think rocks might be for another topic.
Oh yeah, yep. Rocks will be covered for sure. I think we had that planned for May.
Yeah, I think it was May. I think you're right on that. So, any listeners out there, if you're looking forward to discussing rocks, that'll be coming up in May. So,
All right. Yep. And probably gonna wrap it up for as far as dinosaurs go. Unless is there anything else you want to talk about, Chris?
I don't know. I think you're right. I think we've covered most of everything about dinosaurs. All right, Brian. Well, I think we covered dinosaurs. What do you think? I mean, I think we covered everything we possibly could cover, from the way the paintings look to the plants, to the insects, to T-Rex. What do you think?
Yeah, I was ready to wrap it up, but one thing I'll say is that I think we should just give our favorite dinosaurs.
Oh, great idea. Great idea.
And I'll describe why. Stegosaurus was my favorite dinosaur because I really like the spikes on his tail and the plates on his back.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I'm fairly certain that he was able to defend himself in a way that I would have liked to have seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was my favorite dinosaur, and I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, beautiful choice on favorite dinosaur by you, Brian. If I had to pick, I think I'd go with Brachiosaurus, I think his name was. He was tall, and he could, like, hang out in a lake and still have his head above water. I remember seeing that in books and in paintings and stuff. So it could be a lake like 60 feet deep, and he could just hang out in the middle of the lake and have his head above water, just hanging out like no problem. So
Yeah, didn't he have like nostrils on his head?
yeah, nostrils were on his head. I mean, this dinosaur was just decked out cool. So Brachiosaurus for me, Stegosaurus for you. Thank you everybody for watching, and we'll be back. We'll be back talking about more interesting subjects. So
Yeah, thank you guys. All right.